Kia ora. Thank you so much, Catherine, for coming with us today and being part of the Extinction Rebellion election roadshow. What we'd like you to do for this interview is tell us a little bit about yourself, and so that we can get to know you a bit before we hear about your concerns and wishes and dreams and concerns regarding the climate.
Kia ora, my name is Catherine Murupaenga-Ikenn and I belong to the Māori peoples of Te Rarawa Ngāti Kuri in the Whānau of North Island. Currently living in Whangārei here with my husband. I have one son and he's 19 years old. In the past I was a policy analyst and I've done environmental defence policy work and social justice work. I've done indigenous advocacy work at the United Nations and I'm currently here in Whangārei as a tutor at Tautokito Wānanga in the business department.
What a fabulous history you have with us and for us, and I thank you on behalf of the people of the world for all that you have done. So you've been working in this area for a while, and I'm thinking that you've got some idea of how you think society should be, which is not what is happening. Could you share that with us? How you think we should be? What's your vision?
Well, ideally, understanding that there are fundamental human rights that are recognised internationally, it would be great if everyone could enjoy those human rights and be free and happy, be self-determining as sovereign peoples, which we are, being able to influence what goes on in the world. So, yeah, we have younger generations too that are growing up right now in an age of high uncertainty, so it would be great if we could all support those younger generations to live free and happy lives and have some stability instead of the chaos that we're currently experiencing with all these converging crises right now, and so that people could do the things that they love to do, follow the passions that they have and the interests that they have, and not have to worry about all of these big issues and problems of the day.
So the issues and problems of the day, can you share with us some of that you see? What are the big issues, the big problems of the day?
Well, obviously, climate emergency has to be the biggest problem that humanity is facing right now. For our communities, it means instability, it means water insecurity, it means ultimately food insecurity, it means disruption to society. A lot of people are concerned about employment and jobs and such, but to be honest, without a habitable environment, jobs become kind of a moot point. There's a lot of mahi to be done, which mahi meaning work to be done, but that's not necessarily the kind of conventional job that we get paid for, is not what I mean. There's a lot of building community resilience that we need to do, a lot of civic work that we need to do to keep our elected officials accountable, education about the issues, economic instability and injustice.
So I'm thinking about us being here in Northland, which has just experienced drought and then a 500-year storm. I'm just wondering if you've been affected by that, or whānau have been affected by that.
So a lot of our coastal communities have experienced severe weather events, flooding, and they're called they're talked about in terms of like a 1 in 500 year event or whatever, but these events are happening more frequently. I'm not sure it's correct to call them that any longer. They're happening every 5 years, 10 years now. So we're having to reevaluate our new normal, and we, are looking at how many of our communities are seriously having to think about relocating, about where we're going to get our fresh water supplies, sea level rise that might inundate our aquifers. And business and industry too has to really play its part in how the extractive nature of business and industry is just taking from our natural environment, water and minerals, soil. The agricultural industry, for example, has really depleted the health of our soils, and the nutritional value of our food is also declining, so things are all happening at once. So we have to get back into balance with nature, with everything that humanity does.
So we're asking the government to declare a climate emergency and to get emissions down to a date by following the science. We're looking at 2025, 2030, and we're seeing that democracy has been hijacked by vested interests, and so we're looking at a new stage of democracy with citizens' assemblies. I'm wondering if you've got any comments on that for you here in Northland, Whangārei.
I do feel that there's been a sharp decline in trust of institutions generally. In government, central and local government, and the engagement of people in elections and such has been in decline as well. And this is election year, and it's really important that we have people vote for the right political platforms and policies that will help mitigate climate emergency and help our society adapt to what's not just coming, but it's here now. It's already here now. And the Citizens' Assembly is a good option for people to be able to influence political decision making in between elections, because every 3 years is not sufficient for people to just vote and think that's going to change politics. No, it's something that has to be done throughout the 3-yearly cycle to keep our politicians accountable. But it has to be a system that will comply with Te Tiriti o Waitangi standards. Otherwise, it might just become a way of having the tyranny of the majority having influence over what happens in Aotearoa, and we really need tangata whenua and Māori people to have an appropriate level of influence in all of these decisions that are going to affect us. And also other vulnerable groups in society as well. We've got children, women, our elderly, disabled and minorities, and especially if we're thinking about our Pacific brothers and sisters who are being displaced from their homelands, and where will they be coming to? Many of them will be coming here, so we have to think about what's fair and equitable for everyone to participate in a conversation as we move forward and building solutions for climate crisis.
Thank you so much for sharing such a breadth of knowledge and wisdom with us, being just one wahine in Northland, and know that as we go around the country, we're getting very similar stories, different angles from everybody that we're talking to. Thank you, thank you, thank you.